Throw it down, big man.
Welcome everybody back to the Throw It Down Big Fella podcast. I'm your host, Greg Rufus. Thank you so much for joining me today. You guys, we survived the snowstorm. That was a beautiful sight for those that were able to get off work, and the work still continues with your boy here. But it was wonderful. No major traffic flow problems. It was in and out. I was able to drive. I was able to drive to where I was going to go, me and my loved ones. So that was a fun experience. Shout out to all those workers that were making sure the roads were fine and everything was good. Also, before we get started, I want to send my condolences and prayers to all those affected by the wildfires in California that are still going on. My thoughts and prayers are with them and the essential workers and the firefighters and all those involved with the process of that fire. So continue to pray for those that are involved, and better times are coming. All right. On this episode, you guys, we're going to talk about Mike McCarthy being let go as the Cowboys head coach. And the rumors are that they have talked to Coach Prime, that is Deion Sanders in Colorado, for him to be the next coach of the Cowboys. I'll give you my thoughts on that. TV stuff, you guys. I watched the season finale of Landman. It's a great show. Billy Bob Thornton and others, Demi Moore, other people on there. It's a great show. I'll give you my thoughts on that season finale. And also, of course, break down the NFL Wildcard. It was kind of lackluster. It was only like really one good game, and that was the Washington and Tampa Bay game. But I'm going to break down all the games. Even my Eagles, they look kind of flat-footed. I think they need another week off. But I'll break all that down. And, of course, all the NBA college basketball talk and Grizz and Tiger talk, all that coming up. But before I get started, you guys, please subscribe to the podcast on YouTube at Throw It Down Big Fella. I have a special guest with me coming up this week. You guys stay tuned for that episode. It should be a wonderful educational episode. You guys check that out wherever you find your viewings at, and also just continue to show this podcast some love. All right, let's get started with the Tigers, Memphis Tigers, and I'll start with the Memphis Tigers and the Memphis Grizzlies. So the Memphis Tigers had their game this past Saturday against East Carolina. They won the game by 4, a little too close to comfort. I guess that's what it's going to be for the Tigers. I mean, they're in conference play. It should have not been that close. I'm gonna give credit when credit is due. They found a way to close the game out. But sooner or later, at some point, they need to give themselves more breathing room with these type of games. I mean, it's just so close to comfort with these games, and they shot the ball pretty bad the first half. I mean, they picked things up in the second half, but East Carolina, they came out to play. Shout out to them, but I just think for Memphis, like they need a little bit more a little bit more. And it's always like this when they're ranked. It's just when they get ranked, I just feel like they don't give up. They don't give in a little too much. Like they play down to their competition a little bit. I was there along with one of my friends, my boy Chris. He was there. We was watching the game together, and it was just I don't know. They extend their win streak to 4. PJ Haggard, he's just unbelievable. He scored 8 of his 25 points in the final 2 minutes and 34 seconds. So they found a way to win, but it's just I don't know. I'm not impressed. I'm not depressed. I'm just in the middle level with this team. But it's just like I said, if they cannot afford to lose. I mean, they're finding ways to win. That's impressive. They're finding ways to win, but they need to have one of those signature stamped. We're here. We're a top 25 team, and they're still ranked 19th. I mean, they're 18th now. They moved up. They played Temple at Temple Thursday, and they play at Charlotte on Sunday. Then they come back home. Their next home game is not till the 23rd against Wichita State, and then Sunday they play UAB a noon tip off. So sky's the limit, like I said, for this team. Can't afford it anymore. Can't afford a conference loss because they're already ranked 18th. If they lose one of these, they're not going to be ranked. So I expect the Tigers to pick up their intensity. I expect them to ante up a notch a little bit, and I expect them to ride this out for the rest of the month into February. Hopefully, into conference tournament play in March. But a win is a win. Shout out to the Memphis Tigers, but just a little too close to conference for my liking. What do you guys think about the Memphis Tigers and their win against East Carolina? Were you impressed, depressed, or just in the middle? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. All right, the Memphis Grizzlies recap their week. It was wild. Their last two games, Memphis Grizzlies, have been really entertaining to watch. I mean, with all the football stuff going on, I mean, they were still able to entertain us a lot. So I'll start with the bad. I'll start with Monday night, last night, as I record this Tuesday. Last night they played the Houston Rockets, and Jalen Green went berserk. He had 42 points. They came back, they rallied back. I think the Grizzlies were up by like 13, 14. They found a way to lose that game. Ja Morant missed two crucial free throws late like maybe 7 to 6 seconds left. He ended up with, I think, 29 points. Yeah, 29 points, 4 for 11. He had an amazing three-pointer from like Beale Street last night. Desmond Bane chipped in with 4 threes. Jared Jackson, I wanted him to touch the ball a little bit more. He had 12 shot attempts. I think he needs to get a little bit more shot attempts. He had ended up with 17, only 2 rebounds. But like I said, Jalen Green was the star, 42 points. St. Good had 17. Amin Thompson at 19. Dylan Brooks is up to Dylan Brooks stuff. I mean, he elbowed Desmond Bane in the back of his head, got a technical foul, chirping at it a lot with Desmond Bane. Just, you know, Dylan Brooks is going to continue for the rest of his career, have an edge with the Memphis Grizzlies because of how he left and how things left. My best advice to Dylan Brooks is just don't take it too personal, because when you start to take things too personal, it can affect your game. It could take you out of your game. It could bring you in the game, but it could definitely take you out the game. And the team won. It's all good as water under the bridge, yada yada yada. Nobody's going to really make it a headline because you guys won the game. But from my expertise, and I only played in like high school level, so I'm not really on that college and pro level. But from my high school, from my experience in high school, if I got emotional when I was playing, like, it would take me out. So I always try to find a way to block it out, pray about it, talk to God, meditate if I can, listen to music if I can, to not allow whatever think that I'm thinking of negative affect my game plan. So I hope that's my best advice for Dylan Brooks. Continue to do what you want to do, but if you want to find the better of you, my suggestion is just to not let the stuff that what happened outside with the Memphis Grizzlies and all, because it was great times with you. It was great times. I understand that. Left on sour note. I get all that, but to just go back and try to tussle with people that were so-called were your friends. I know they were your friends while you were in the Memphis Grizzlies uniform, and now you want to make it personal. You need to like fall back a little bit and just take a deep breath, breathe in and breathe out, and I think everything will be all right. So that's my advice for Dylan Brooks. But Houston Rockets won that game. So the Saturday game the Grizzlies played, they played the Minnesota Timberwolves, who in my mind, I feel like it's like a little rivalry between the Grizzlies and Timberwolves. The Grizzlies had that epic playoff series a couple years ago, first round, the Ja Morant, Anthony Davis scenario. I get it. And then, of course, with Ja Morant's problems, off-season problems, and we never really get to see Ja and Anthony Edwards really since that playoff series. But now they played this past Saturday night. So look, it was a good game. Grizzlies won 127, 125. Now this is the good. This is the good for Ja Morant. He hit the game-winning shot. What I think maybe 14, 50 seconds left was a great shot, great photo shot. Anthony Edwards had a chance to win it. He didn't. That's the great Ja Morant that I want to see. Okay, game's on the line. What am I going to do? It's clutch time. Let's figure a way out to win the game. That's the Ja Morant I like. But he has to make his free throws. Going back to last night against Houston, got to make his free throws. I mean, self-explanatory at this point. But John Morant is definitely the closer of this team. I think the Grizzlies go when John Morant goes, and he's like that. I mean, he's just unbelievable. And so when he has that type of motor, when he has that type of flow moving forward, I think it's exciting to watch. I forgot to mention the Houston game Thursday. They lost that game. The Grizzlies lost that game 119-115. The play I feel like was Desmond Bane hitting the three, but Taylor Jenkins called the timeout before he hit the shot, and it would have tied the game, went to overtime. But mental mistakes. They actually lost the season series so far 3-1. I think they out. They're not playing them no more. I think they lost it 3-1. I'm trying to look back. They lost these last two, and I think they played early. No, they haven't. So they won two. Oh, they might have been three, but I think the Rockets have won the season series against the Houston Rockets. They played the 30th. So trying to think, they played twice, three. So yeah, they won three. They won two. The season series against them so far. So it'd be a fun series. I definitely would love to watch Houston and Memphis. That would be a fun, epic series. Two great caliber type of superstar players. Houston is no joke. Their coaching is good. But like I said, for the Memphis Grizzlies, it's all up to Ja. It's all up to Jared Jackson Jr. It's all up to Desmond Bane. Those three combined, getting the same flow, getting the same effort, this is going to be a dangerous team that could compete with OKC, that could compete with Houston, that could compete with the Lakers, like all the other teams in the NBA, they can compete with them. So, shout out to the Memphis Grizzlies. Had a up and down week, but the games they got coming up, they have a game tomorrow night at San Antonio, back to back. Wednesday night in San Antonio, Friday night in San Antonio, and then one of the most important games I feel like in NBA, one of the most important days, MLK Day. One of my hero, Dr. Martin Luther King. We celebrate his life, his legacy. They play Minnesota, the epic MLK game. That should be fun, and also Trump's inauguration. So there's a lot going on, and the national championship game, which I'm gonna give you a preview on later. So that day, January 20th is going to be a very, very, very important day. So let's what do you guys think? You think the Grizzlies, how do you think they're going to fare out this week coming up? How do you feel about the games they had this past week? John Morant, is he an all-star level? Can he be a starter? Can he be a reserve? Let me know what you guys think about the Grizzlies so far this year. Hit me up on the comment section here on the YouTube podcast page. All right, so let me briefly talk about the NFL wildcard weekend that happened. Not impressed. Like these games were not impressive. I mean, I'll start with the Houston LA Chargers game. I think the Chargers. I picked the Chargers to win that game actually, and I looked like a fool. Justin Herbert threw 4 interceptions, just looked a complete mess. It made me forget how good Houston Texans defense is. Will Anderson and others, Stingley, like that. I just keep forgetting how good their defense is. And C.J. Stroud doesn't make a mistake, and Nico Collins makes a couple plays, and Joe Mixon has a touchdown round. If they find that type of method, play clean football, there could be a problem. There could be a problem. So now they play Kansas City Saturday afternoon, first game of the divisional round. Should be interesting. Should be interesting matchup. It's not shouldn't be a cakewalk for Kansas City. We don't know what type of Kansas City team we're getting. They haven't played really meaningful in 3 weeks now, 2 or 3 weeks now. So it begins. Do they get their three-peat? A lot of pressure on Kansas City, but Houston is playing with house money. That's a dangerous team when you're playing with house money. Dangerous team playing with house money. So let's see how that plays out. The next game, it was Baltimore and Pittsburgh. I'm thoroughly surprised because I didn't think Baltimore would just run it down Pittsburgh's throat. No point in saying. I just didn't think they would just run. They run. Derrick Henry had 186 yards. I felt like if Baltimore was going to win, it's going to be Lamar Jackson puts on a show. I didn't think like they would just do their method, do what they've been doing all year. how foolish was I? I thought it would be a little bit closer. I figured Baltimore would win, but I figured it would be closer. I mean, Pittsburgh going into the game lost 4 in a row. They were reeling, but I felt like, hey, you know this team. You play them twice a year. Lamar even said, look, the Pittsburgh Steelers kind of have my number. So I was expecting a close 27-20, 27-23 ugly brawl like Pittsburgh Steelers and Baltimore Ravens, they always do. Boy, was I wrong. It was completely lopsided. The score indicates that it was really close, 28-14, but it really wasn't. It just felt lopsided the entire game. And Baltimore moves on. They play Buffalo. That's the marquee game of the divisional round. The marquee game. That's the best game. And that's the last game at Buffalo. That should be an unbelievable game. For Pittsburgh, questions surround: is Mike Tomlin going to leave? Is Mike Tomlin? They're going to let Mike Tomlin go? Is Russell Wilson gone? I personally do not believe Mike Tomlin should go. I mean, it's strictly up to the Pittsburgh Steelers organization for them to decide if they want to get rid of Mike Tomlin. He's an unbelievable coach. I don't think he's the best coach in the division. I even said this to my boy Darren, like we did the preview. I don't think Mike Tomlin's the best coach in the division. I still give it to John Harbaugh, but he's really good. And I don't want to take nothing away from what he's accomplished. He's got 2 Super Bowl rings. I mean, a Super Bowl ring, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 ring. I'm not trying to take that away from the guy. I'm really not. He's an unbelievable, great coach. But my thing is, you can't continue to just go in the playoffs in and out, or win 1 game and then you're out. Like they haven't been back to Super Bowl since 2012. So it's been a long time, long drought. But they need the right pieces together. So it's up in the air. But I say he needs to stay there. I say all that to say, the fact that Mike McCarthy got fired. I mean, not fired, was out as Dallas Cowboys head coach. He only had 1 bad year. Impatience runs in this NFL system. Some NFL organizations, they're impatient. I mean, if you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, letting Doug Peterson go, and they won their first Super Bowl because of him. So I think the fact that Pittsburgh is still hanging on to Mike Tomlin shows that they have respect for him and they have class. Like they don't want to see him go. But it's like at some point, Mike Tomlin, like if you're you got to do more. I mean, it's been a while. It's been a long time. You're a great coach, excellent coach, one of the best coaches in the NFL. But if I'm the Steelers, I'm waiting for him to retire. I'm not going to fire him. I have too much class respect for this man, and we don't do that. Pittsburgh has only had like 4 or 5 head coaches in their entire organization. So I don't see that happening no time soon. I see Mike Tomlin, if he wants to leave, he'll step down. But I don't see like the Pittsburgh Steelers letting him go. But there's a lot of changes that need to be done. George Pinkins needs to grow up. He needs to grow up. I mean, that's just plain and simple. Like he's dropping balls, and he's press conferences. He says, "Do you see any improvement in his team?" He said, "Nah." That's an immature response. That's not a captain response. He needs to be better. This is year 3 coming up for him, so I expect better things for George Pinkins. Maybe going after a veteran wide receiver. I don't know. I just think Pittsburgh might be time to regroup and scratch off and regroup. So let me know what you guys think about what Pittsburgh Steelers, all the Pittsburgh Steelers fans out there. Is it time to regroup? Is it time to just scratch the team up, break them up, start over? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section about the Pittsburgh Steelers and their future. All right, let's get to Sunday's game. Buffalo and the Denver Broncos. Sorry, unfortunately, for my boy Darren, but his Broncos lost 31-7. It just wasn't close. It's just one of those, hi, Denver, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Here's a parting gift. I hope you enjoyed the playoffs. Here's the door. Please leave. It just felt like that. It just felt like it was in the wrong class. There was in advanced biology. Everybody else, I mean, everybody else is advanced biology, but they're in the intermediate biology. They're just trying to catch up to what Josh Allen did. Josh Allen made an unbelievable touchdown throw to the backup running back Tyler Johnson. Unbelievable. I said once he did that, I'm like, oh, this game is over. It had that feel like Buffalo could do whenever, whatever they want. And it just sets up the matchup that we all wanted. We all want to see Baltimore Buffalo, like I said, division round, last game of the divisional round. It's the best game. It's the best game of the weekend. I can't wait to see that, how it plays out. And I'm ready for it. I'm excited for it. So Buffalo, they fought their way up to it. I didn't really think people thought Buffalo was going to be that good. I thought Buffalo would be a playoff team. I didn't think they'll be like the second best team in the division. Josh Allen is throwing into a lot of people we know, but it's not like the higher upper names, like Lamar. I mean, Amari Cooper, Keon Coleman, Shakir, and James Cook. We know these people. It's just we didn't know that they would be this good and this talented. But let's see what it is. They play Baltimore. Of course, you guys remember they played week 5, I believe, week 4, week 5. And Derrick Henry, I don't know what he has against Buffalo. He just runs. He just runs against them. Like he just killed them. Had that epic 80-yard touchdown run. Almost had 200 yards. So there's blueprint on how that game went out. Let's see how Buffalo responds to that game. This coming up Sunday should be a doozy. The next game, my Philadelphia Eagles played the Green Bay Packers. We thought that this would probably be the best game of the wild card weekend. Well, I thought, a lot of people thought, a lot of experts thought. Wasn't the case. The Philadelphia won the game 22-10. Opening kickoff, the Green Bay Packers fumbled it, and I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm gonna be completely honest when I say this. I thought Green Bay recovered it. It looked like on the overhead view, in every view, the angle that I saw, Green Bay recovered it. But I'm not gonna say that that's the reason why they lost. I mean, if you just look at that entire game and look at Jordan Love and the way that he played, it was not good. His decision making, and he was clean. He was clean for like the last 3 or 4 weeks prior to this game. And this game was just a complete meltdown, complete letdown for him. His interception through to Darius Slay was like pitching catch. It's like, I'm just going to throw it to Darius Slay. The other one to Zach Braun, it's like he didn't see him right there in the middle linebacker. Bam, got that. I'm just the Philadelphia Eagles, my Philadelphia Eagles, I'm really good. Their defense is just spectacular. It's the best. I feel like it's the best defense in the NFL. Behind Kansas City. I feel like Kansas City is 1. I feel like we're 2. They're our front 4 is just unbelievable. And people are getting to watch this and experience this. Although I hate the fact that Kobe Dean, one of our best linebackers, is out. He hurt himself. He's out for the season. That's going to be a tough blow. We already lost Brandon Graham. So it's going to be tough. Darius Slay got hurt, but he came back in the game. He shouldn't. And I feel like he's going to be ready to go against the LA Rams. It's going to be a fight, dog fight. Matthew Stafford, Super Bowl winner, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams. That's going to be a great game. And it's going to be a really great game. But Jalen Hurts, the question is Jalen Hurts. I feel like Jalen Hurts should not play that game. I feel like he's not ready. I still feel like he's still dealing with concussion lingering. This is first of his career. So it just depends on how your body reacts to it and all. You could just tell he was just a little off. He was a little off bait. But I think he's going to play much better. The last time the Eagles played the Rams, he actually had like almost 200 yards. He was flawless. A.J. Brown had like 100 yards receiving and a touchdown. I mean, they're making a big fuss about A.J. Brown reading a book. What do you rather him do? Like toss Gatorade or make a fit on the sideline? I actually think that was really mature because the fact that he only had 3 targets, 1 catch for 10 yards in a game against Green Bay's defense you can give up on the pass for Green Bay. Their run stopping defense is okay. Saquon did his thing, but I don't think Jalen Hurts was 100%. So we didn't get the best of Jalen Hurts. I feel like this game is going to tell a lot about if Jalen Hurts can overcome that inefficient of a game. It was still a win. I'll take the win. But if Jalen Hurts plays much better, I feel like this is going to be a lot. It could be lopsided, but I feel like it's still going to be close because of the LA Rams. But I'm optimistic. I think Jalen's going to play much, much better. It's at Philly. It's in the cold. How does LA Rams? How do they play in the cold? Well, time will tell. But it should be a really, really good game. Let me know what you guys think about Philly and the LA Rams. How do you think this plays out? Does Jalen Hurts play much better? Does A.J. Brown go off on this game because every time something like this happens, he always has a breakout game the next game. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And last two games, Commanders and Bucks, the best game, the closest game of this wild card game. The Commanders won 23-20. They go on to play the Detroit Lions Saturday night. Everybody, well, I'll get to that. I'll preview that. But for this game, Jalen Hurts he's not a rookie, you guys. He is really that guy. He is really that guy. And I just want to say, for all those people that doubted Jalen Daniels and think he was going to be something, he's too short, he's too skinny, can he take hits? Y'all are wrong. I mean, I feel like Jalen is clearly the rookie of the year. They're going to go into Detroit Saturday night, really underdogs. But this is just who he is. I mean, he makes the plays that win the game, and he's cool and calm and collected. I remember they played Tampa week 1, and he just looked fragile. He looked like a rookie. He looked like a rookie, but he found a way to channel a poise of a veteran quarterback and just won that game. He won that game single-handedly. This wild card game. So interested to see how he goes to Detroit. It's going to be loud. It's going to be rocking. We know how they get down. Detroit's defense is no slouch. We get that, but it's still the Detroit Lions, that offense. Let's see how they play out. Tampa Bay lost this game. I mean, I feel like the fumble that Baker had and the botch snap between him and the center really cost him the game. Mike Evans took the challenge to Marshawn Lattimore. That's the matchup I really wanted to see. He took that challenge head on, challenged him the whole game. It was a great one, too. The Commanders won this game. Kind of surprised me. I mean, but if you always have like one surprise wild card game, this will probably be the one that you'd be like, oh, okay, I can see Washington doing it. Because Tampa Bay, 10-7, win a division, not impressive. I don't know what you do forward with Tampa Bay. I mean, you stay with Baker. Do you stay with Todd Bowles? What do you do? I mean, but they lost so many people. Mike Evans during the season. Chris Godwin was out for the year. So healthy, I think this is a different Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. They probably would have won this game, but I give credit where credit's due. Washington, their first playoff win since 2005. The sky is really bright for this team, but they go to Detroit Saturday night. That's going to be tough. They got to slow down that offense, slow down that efficient offense, the best offense in the league. Let's see what they do Saturday night. Should be fun. And finally, like I said, Minnesota and the LA Rams. LA Rams won. Sam Darnold, I think, went back to Sam Darnold. And it's just really, it's unfortunate. I don't want to put all the blame on Sam Darnold because the Vikings defense is supposed to be top tier. And they just, from the opening tip, they just, Matthew Stafford just surgically repaired them. And they just had no answer until probably later on in the half when they slowed them down a little bit, only having like 6 points in the second half. But Sam Darnold, people are saying, look, he messed his money up. Ain't nobody going to give him a chance. I don't buy that, not 1 second. If Minnesota does not bring him back, he will find another home. Sam Darnold is good enough to be a starting quarterback in this league for half of the NFL. He is that type of guy. Do they go to J.J. McCarthy, Minnesota? Questions to be certain, but it's a great year for Minnesota. They overachieved. I didn't think Minnesota would be this good anyway. They overachieved throughout the entire season. They were one of the sneakiest teams in the NFL. Justin Jefferson is a dog. We get all that. But it's not a disappointing year. It's just when you overachieve sometimes and Sam Darnold I'm not saying this is who Sam Darnold is, but it was just overwhelming for him. You saw that from the Detroit game, the last game of the regular season, and you saw it with the LA Rams. It was a bunch of stuff. It was a bunch of things he just couldn't handle, but he's a decent enough quarterback to become a starter in this league. A lot of teams would want him, so let's just see how that plays out with the Minnesota Vikings. But great year, though. And so, like I said, in divisional rounds, the first game you got Houston, Kansas City, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, Washington and Detroit. Sunday afternoon game, first game is the Philadelphia Eagles, LA Rams, and then the nightcap, the last game, and it should be a doozy, Baltimore and Buffalo. Let me know what you guys think about the divisional round. Who do you think wins and why? Leave that all in the comment section right here on the podcast, and I'll get back to it as soon as I can. All right. I did mention Mike McCarthy. I said about Coach Prime taking the position. Quickly, I don't know if Coach Prime should take the job. And it has nothing to do with the opportunity. That's one of the best opportunities in the world to coach the Dallas Cowboys. I get all that, but it's really just Jerry Jones. I don't trust his leadership. I don't trust the direction of where he's going with this. I feel like his son, he should really step down, really, for being owner of this team. That's what's holding it back. Um, if he falls off the rims, and let his son and family take over, then maybe I could see. Then maybe I could see the Cowboys taking this really seriously and Coach Prime becoming that type of coach they really need to get over the hump, maybe to get over the hump. Is it a desirable job? It's not desirable because Jerry Jones is running. If Jerry Jones is not running, then yes, it's desirable. I'm not sugarcoating this. I think Jerry Jones is by far. I'm not saying the worst. I'm not saying the worst owner, but his ego makes him the most hated owner in NFL. His arrogance, his cockiness, his brash really makes him an owner that you don't want to really want to. I don't want to play for, and maybe a lot of other people don't want to play for. But they get that situation taken care of. He falls back. He lets how he let Jimmy Johnson and other, or I guess Barry Switzer, kind of run the team how they wanted to run. Let Coach Prime run the team how he wants to, then it could work. But I just don't think his ego is going to allow it to happen. And so if that doesn't happen, I just think the Cowboys are going to continue to be who they are. Great regular season team, except for this year with all the injuries and all, but healthy enough to get to the playoffs, make a little run. Super Bowl team, probably not. I don't know. It's just a lot of question marks. But the leadership aspect of the Dallas Cowboys, starting with Jerry Jones, needs to change in order for me to think that Coach Prime should take this opportunity. I think he should stay in Boulder, Colorado. I'm an emphasis on saying that he needs to stay in Colorado. But if all that happens with what I said about Jerry Jones falling back and letting him run the show, Coach Prime, I think it could be a great opportunity for Dion, and I think this is what Coach Prime really, really wants. So let me know what you guys think. Is this the right move for Coach Prime to go to the Dallas Cowboys if they offer him the job? Would you take it? Yes or no? Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. All right, finally, guys, my last topic. I'm going to talk about a little TV, a little stuff I've been watching outside of football, outside of basketball. I've watched Landman, great shows on Paramount Plus channel. I watched it. I watched the season finale last night. Billy Bob Thornton, Demi Moore, a lot of other great actors and actresses. Great, great, great show. I don't want to spoil it too much for those who haven't watched it, but I'll just give you a synopsis of a little bit of the show. It's based in Texas. Billy Bob is like an oil general, and the guy that he works for basically he tells them like where to put the oil, like where to dig the oil, like a oil businessman, and especially in Texas, how that's like big time down there in Texas, like the oil and all that business runs with the oil. So Billy Bob is like the guy that's in charge. He's like the head honcho, and there's these group of cartels that are willing to take over that. And so it's like an epic fight. You also have like his love life going on, his wife, well, ex-wife, now wife, his child, how that story goes down. His son wants to work just like him, but he also had a college degree, so he's smart enough to not want to do it, but he still wants to. There's just a lot of good storylines in this. I recommend you guys watch the show on Paramount Plus. That's a great plug. I mean, I wish Paramount would. I could call Paramount and say, "Hey, I would love to sponsor you guys a show because you got that show that I've watched, Lioness with Zoe Saldana and others. That's a wonderful show. Paramount Plus just has really, really good shows. Mary Kingstown. They also have Papa's House with Damian Wayans and his son and Essential Atkins. Just a great show. They have so many good shows on Paramount Plus, you guys. It's unbelievable. You should definitely check that out. Currently, I'm finishing up the Jack Portal. It's like a action show. I've been watching that. Great time. Me and my lovely wife, we watched Venom this past Saturday. I watched all of them leading up to this, the current one that came out last year. Great movie. I highly recommend you guys watch that. Trying to think what else is coming up. I think Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz has a movie on Netflix coming out. That's good. The Upshaws I'm currently watching now. Trying to finish that up. Um, there's a lot of great stuff coming up on Netflix, all the other shows. Let me know what you guys think. What's a good show? Any other great shows that you guys been watching? Put them in the comment section. Let me know, and I probably will watch it, recommend it to me and my loved ones. So let me know what you guys think about that. All right, you guys, that will conclude another wonderful episode of the Throw It Down Big Fella podcast. Please subscribe to my podcast on YouTube at Throw It Down Big Fella. Thank you so much for joining this episode, and I will see you guys this week coming up in a couple of days with a very special guest. Until then, my name is Greg Rufus. Until then, peace out.
Throw it down, big man.